Hello and welcome to Kai Chi Alchemy. You can call me Katchi. This is a space of love, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the cosmos today. I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thanks for co-creating community with me. Thanks for all those likes, shares, comments, subscribes, etc. As they help me to expand my reach and help more people and find the most aligned collective possible. This is going to be a collective message, so it will not resonate with everybody. I encourage you to connect in with your intuition and take what resonates for you, leaving all the rest of it. It is going to be a collective message for the Pisces collective. So, when I started this winter series, we started with Aries, and then some crazy stuff happened, and I just kept getting all of this feedback that I shouldn't be moving on to this Taurus reading next, and I just was so attached to the idea of doing that it just took a long time to fully settle in. Like, no, Spirit says that it is time. We're not gonna go all over the place randomly, but we're gonna turn around. We're gonna turn around 180 degrees, and we're gonna go from Aries into Pisces into Aquarius, Capricorn, and we're gonna go roll back. What, if you can think off the top of your head, what planets move in that direction? It's not Saturn, because we're going from Pisces into Aries. There's something else though that as it's progressing, it's actually moving backwards through the signs. If that comes to you, drop it down below and let us know. Here we're gonna do a one brief conscious breath meditation to ground into the space. Before we do that, I'm actually gonna light this candle for the Ajna third eye chakra. I actually didn't have any more candles for this particular chakra somehow, even though I have doubles of some other ones. So I thought that was appropriate and meant to be for today for all of my Pisces babies. Speaking of Aries and Pisces, when we were doing the Aries reading, it was very, very powerful energy that kind of knocked me out for a couple of weeks, honestly. And I had a feeling, in that video I said something about, I feel like there's some planet in Pisces, or some planet in Aries right now. Let me know what it was. And the planet that was moving into Aries at the time was Saturn. I mean, not quite, but it was getting there. And so we were moving from this Saturn and Pisces energy, which I still have a hard time fully describing verbally, even though it's my own Saturn placement. But for the Aries people, for the Aries Saturn placements, they are all coming into the very beginning parts of their Saturn returns right now. So I was reading for that group right on the precipice of jumping into their Saturn returns. It was kind of like a really good, if you're gonna jump into it, fully aware and like conscious of what you're trying to get out of it, that would be a very good reading for you if you have any prominent Aries placements. But again, if the message speaks to you, then it's meant for you, part of it or all of it, regardless of whether or not you have any Pisces placements in your chart. That being said, it probably will resonate more strongly for those with Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or Saturn, apparently, in Pisces. So we are doing this rolling back and checking in, especially with this energy of the people who've been dealing with their Saturn for the last year, 2, 3 years, depending. Okay, we're going to do that meditation now, for real. So sit however is most comfortable for you. You can put your hands on your heart and your belly if you'd like. You don't have to. And you can hold it at the top if you like, but really just do what feels right for you, okay? All right. I am gonna ring this sound bowl right here. I just got some body work from a coworker. Probably still have the horseshoe on my face, and I'm in a fasted state, not by intention, but just by circumstance. So we'll see how this goes today. But it very much felt like it's time to jump. It's time to jump in. This is the winter series that I was gonna start for the winter, and winter is almost over. Spring is coming. Spring is coming. All right, for this Pisces collective today, I am going to grab an archetypes card to kind of get the lay of the land for whoever is showing up today for this Pisces reading. Maybe I should have put on some up-tempo music, because there's some downloads that I was getting that felt really powerful. But then in this post-massage days thing, I'm just like, does it really matter? Can't we all just get along? Can't we all just be quiet? Do we really need to think about all that? But I mean, yeah, sometimes we do. Pisces like to merge, hey? The gem. We got the Father on the bottom of the deck. That may or may not be resonant for some of y'all. But yeah, that's what we're gonna start with. And I think I'm even gonna read from the book for this one. Okay, I think I was getting something about this experience of feeling something for a long time, knowing something for a long time, not quite understanding it to the depths, not quite understanding it in an objective sense, not quite fully getting it, but having a sense of what's going on. And then something happens in a mundane, day-to-day moment where it kind of just clicks and it makes sense in a different way than it did before, yet at the same time, it always made sense that way. You just have a new perspective, a new piece of information, a new something. Something's clicking this springtime for you. And the reason that that was coming through was a couple of things that came up for me, but I think that it was especially the experience of having it was just a mundane moment, right? So I was taking care of myself, getting ready in the morning, listening to my music, and a song came on my shuffle, and I was listening to the lyrics while I was brushing my teeth, and I heard a line in there, and everything in my past made sense in a different way than it had before. I was just doing my thing. And she said, don't hand me checkers when I'm playing chess, or something like that. So when I had the experience of being assaulted by my partner in the beginning of last December, a lot of people would assume that it was like that moment or like the aggression, or, you know, the fact that he had promised to never lay his hands on me and had objectively broken a promise. All of that, obviously, you know, it was a line, but it wasn't really emotional to me. I don't get this like righteous indignation about my body. It's probably my own childhood trauma stuff, or I don't know. But I don't feel particularly egoic about like defending my body, but it was the mental part of it. And it wasn't just the promise and like the boundary and the lines and the social expectations and all of that stuff. It was actually much more the not effects, the afterwards. It was the behavior and the words that came through after the fact. And one of those things that was so deeply unsettling in that experience after the fact, before I left, was the statement, it's like you're trying to play chess and I'm trying to play checkers. Like, will you play checkers with me? And in the moment, it felt like it hit on so many things. It felt like, you know, I can't believe you would say with a straight face that you not only struggle to avoid holding me back, but with your conscious awareness, you would choose to request that I hold myself back. And there was also just the implication that I was playing games when I was very, very intensely trying to be honest and authentic in a moment where that was challenging, in a moment where I knew I was going to receive pushback, in a moment where I knew how important it was to have that honesty. And I was not resentful of how hard that was. I understood why the situation was the way that it was. But it was the implication that somebody would want to actively request with a straight face that I intentionally hold myself back to make them happy, and that when I do the things that feel right, that feel aligned, that feel resonant, that makes another person unhappy. Yeah, so it was one, I'm not playing games, but it was two, how could you ask me to hold myself back? In what universe does a teammate say something like that? And it clicked everything really into focus. Like, you can know somebody and know that they can operate out of fear or insecurity. You can know that people have like a clout chasing element to them. I have so much insight into the people that I interact with, to the point where I have a long, long list of positive and negative things about you, and I love you. But a lot of people, I guess they're used to being able to like hide those parts of themselves. So when I say, I see that's a problem, but it's up to you to decide what to do with it, and I can't make you change, and I would never try to make someone change for my own moral reasons, and also like to respect you. In any case, so I heard that lyric and I went, wow, I was listening to this playlist all the time before I left, and I would feel reactions. I would feel energy change when I did or said certain things, But then I go to people and I say, how do you think about this? How do you feel about this? And I'm going to take your word for it. Because if I use my intuition all the time, then that's not really very respectful of your privacy now, is it? Because most people aren't able to know those things about you. So just because I know that you have an element that you struggle with doesn't mean that that's like who I think you are. But some people do think that their struggles are who they are, I guess. Sometimes. And so I thought either it was rattling around in his subconscious, kicking up a lot of stuff, and it just came out and he wasn't really thinking about it, right? Or maybe he heard that line in that song, I was just dancing and having fun, and he was thinking about, what does that mean? What does that mean to her? What, you know? And it doesn't matter if it was malicious control or if it came from a subconscious place. Like, either way, you're responsible for it. And I had spent so much time just taken aback, just absolutely in shock. Like, I don't see anything new about you, but I'm just so in shock that you would move that way in this moment. Like, if you were malicious, why would you give yourself up like that? Like, why would... And I just thought and thought and thought and thought about it, and I would try not to because I knew it wasn't helpful and it wasn't healthy. But man, I heard that line and I went, wow. Well, at least I know where that could have come from, because when he said it, I was like, what is this even referencing? What does this even mean? What is this even about? It's obviously important to him, but I can't talk to him about it at this point, because you can't talk to somebody who's willing to physically move your body from one place to another because of an emotion that they have. Otherwise, we would just have 4-year-olds running the country, right? I mean, not that we don't. All right, so I'm gonna read a little bit from the gem here and see what relevance it has here. This is gonna be, different for all of y'all, the way that this manifests as far as like the particular circumstances or situations. But it's just kind of that feeling of like walking through a fog, and then all of a sudden you turn 180 degrees and you see it's not foggy back there. And it kind of makes sense. You change the channel and you see where that seed was planted, or you see something you didn't see before. And it changes the way you feel about it, and it changes the way you think about it, and there's really no going back, even if you wanted to. Okay. The gem. The diamond, the gold, the inner treasure. There are infinite names for the gem. It is also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. One thing for certain is that it is found deep within a substance that is very much unlike it. For example, a diamond in the rough. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you are among comforts and pleasantries. Precious stones develop slowly deep in the earth amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface, where there is no definitive map. Yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging. When light unique, shining, generative, irreplaceable. When dark, envy, greed, grasping. To go deeper, Legend of the Crystal Skulls, Leonard Cohen's Diamonds in the Mine. In mythology, the diamond is often linked to the daimon, or inner light that leads us towards our true self, our purpose, our destiny. Daimon, daimon, daemon, demon, demon. A demon is a spirit. A demon is an energy. Some of them are very dark and some of them are not. And your daemon is inside of you and it lives inside of your heart. And if you're ever confused about what thought or feeling to listen to, what way to go, you need to tap more into that space, into that energy, and you will know. You don't have to go through a process. You don't have to think. It's where you have everything now. You've always had everything now. But you have to sink into a different perspective to be able to really get into that. And it says the moments of your life that glimmer are clues to where the gem resides. Don't covet the sparkling diamond of another. The gem is like a fingerprint, never to be repeated again. Find yours. Yes, so this is about individuality. This is, yeah. I think that's interesting. We were talking about checkers and chess, right? Because this is speaking to rules of engagement. It's like social groups. It's like the expectations that we have in these groups. And the only group that you're ever going to really fit in without burying yourself and shrinking yourself and masking yourself is one community, the one community, the community of one, the law of one, the one true God, the I don't have any enemies and I don't have any idols. That's the community. That's the only community that sees you, encourages you to be who you are in your soul, to embody your daemon, to be the gem that you are, to be that snowflake, to be that fingerprint, and to put all your resources and energy and effort into uncovering that, to clearing it up, to brushing all the dirt off of it. Like a dinosaur bone dig. And you clear it off. And most people are spending all their energy putting this mask on and creating this facade. And for what? Depleted energy and a facade that you have to maintain. I don't see how that's sustainable. And I think that that's why a lot of people exhibit a lot of poor behavior, because they're in like a not sustainable mode of being in their life, and they take it out on themselves, on other people. Like, they don't have what they need to do what they need to do. Are you kidding me? Again, the father was on the bottom of the archetypes deck, so there may be something here about the father. You may struggle with like some daddy issues, with like some father wounds, meaning like feeling not accepted for who you are, but only for how you perform, for how you mask. It doesn't have to be your actual father that was like, you know, it could be just that toxic energy. It could have come from a mother, an aunt, or a grandmother, or a grandparent, a sibling, or whatever. But whatever it was, it really impacted your sense of self and your sense of like what you're here, like what is meaningful, what your purpose is. And so you may have had that implanted in you from an early relationship, and it may be reflected in lovers and friends and business partners, what have you, because of that imprint, right? And so there's something here for Pisces about healing the father wound, about moving into your own soul regardless of how other people respond to it. Being this rainbow. I find it very funny and offensive that the rainbow has come to represent very specific and very dogmatic views. And so you can look like a rainbow, you can make yourself look like a gem and not really be authentic and not really be that gem, but find a way to kind of perform authenticity, make it look iridescent rainbow when it's really not.